but your record with Chris Brown is gold. Show me.
Man,
we just came in from
like,
that.
You know, it's a crazy feeling, man. It's definitely, you know, I watched it get to this point, and it's new for me because I'm used to like doing the independent thing where, you know, I got such a cool core following that they support me so much the first week, and then it kind of drops after that to where this kind of record, you know, it rose up, hit a peak, drop, rose back up, stayed in the middle, and then rose right back up to the top.
What did you have to do to keep it that way? You have to tour, visuals?
I feel like, you know, it's just different things I do. I feel like, you know, after signing a major label situation, of course, it's different situations I'm in. It's different TV spots. It's different, you know, things I'm plugged with that help this situation, of course, promote the single when I'm not even paying attention that it's helping promote it. So it's like new to me, you know what I mean?
But, you know, Ill Will sent me the record, you know, showing me, and I was like, yo, this is out of here. You know, no brainer. Did you have the same effect too? Did you realize that also?
I had a feeling when we first had it that it was a crazy record and that it was the one, it was the single. But when Chris Brown got on the record and brought like way more life to the demo we had, like he did a lot extra stuff than just the demo we had. It kind of made the record just.
Who was originally on there? You got rid of that whack person. Who was it?
Nah, it's not even that. I had the boy T-Fly from the West Coast.
Oh no, he's hot. That's the nigga right there.
He was rocking, and he came through because he was working with Mustard at the time, and I brought him through, like, because I'm writing, and I know how to write, you know what I'm saying, to all kind of music, but I wanted to influence, you know, with this Mustard record, I really wanted to understand the sound and incorporate it and make sure that I, you know, did the record justice and not just, you know, tried to do too much kidding, and I kind of brought T-Fly in to help me out with that, and we came up with this amazing hook that we had some other people re-sing to. I'm not even gonna say no names. And then we dropped it on Chris Brown.
Was it Lloyd or something?
Nah, we had Chris Brown come through, and
let's get out of that kid. Nah, cause we had a Tupac thing earlier, and then we had this thing like if Tupac was alive, what R&B singer would he kill? Lloyd was number one. Anyway, let's get out of it. Let's get out of it. You being a West Coast.
First of all, who came up with that category? Like,
chop your head.
Tupac could kill an R&B singer. Who would it be?
Let's get out of that. Let's get out of that kid. Yeah. So back to the hit record. Yeah. Y'all fucked up. And Lloyd's my man too, man.
Nah, man, Lloyd is dope, man.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. But back to the hit record.
Right.
And T-Fly's hot. I like that. What's that shit? I give it a dick.
Yeah, that record that was buzzing in LA. And it's crazy too because we got that done before that record was buzzing, so I wasn't just bandwagoning. And you know, I heard. So
your relationship with the whole clique runs deeper because you see the success of Mustard now. He's like, yeah, and I knew Mustard everywhere. Before. I met Mustard before he was really making beats. So it was like, you know, when we was in the LA streets and just running around with the same circles, you know. It kind of, you know, it was cooler for us to get in the studio and really rock with each other and have that, you know, trust to him just send me zips of beats and, you know, he's as hot as he is and me not, you know, leaking nothing and just really working for each other. His girl and my girl hang out. Wow.
His son be over my crib playing with my dogs and, you know what I'm saying? It's, you know, a different kind of relationship I feel like with me and him than just, you know, rocking out on some label type stuff, you know?
And what's cool about it is come on, it's kind of unfair. The next joint I've been playing all day before you got here, main chick, you know, because you know I got my little wifey in, but I got a main chick in different spots. You know, I be coming in these bitches. You know what I'm saying? But that record is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it's unfair.
It's
fucking unfair.
It was one of those things, man, where we had all these records. We had a lot of records, man. I did 3 records with Chris Brown that night. And we had 3 records left, and we were going through just so many different things trying to get this track list, and he ended up putting it on his tape, which was not the same version that's on the album. You know, of course, I went in and did a lot more stuff that I didn't send him, so he didn't put that on his tape. He had the one he had from the original session. And, you know, I respect that because that's just, you know, it's a cosign. I feel like it's letting people know that he's not just rocking with me on some label stuff, even though we label mates. It's really like, you know, I could hit him up, you know what I'm saying, and go to the crib and chill and all that. So after that, though, it's like, we didn't, you know, when we put the record on there, I didn't really think about it too much. I kind of, you know, was like, all right, it's a Mustard, another Chris Brown record. And, I didn't know if people were going to take to it as much as they took to it because Show Me came out. But it's like right under Show Me right now on iTunes. And I feel like people are going to be like, yo, we need a Mustard Chris Brown album now because it's just, you know, so close to the other record. But we, you know, see how it goes, man.
Yeah, but it's like that track draws me in. Like, I tested it in a whip. I tested it in my crib. I tested it with my system, and I tested. You know, the best A&Rs out there is kids. If you put that shit, I have 2 crazy mixed race kids.
Yeah,
So, you know, they're Asian or whatever, but I played it for them and they were wiggling and they were going crazy.
I learned the kids,
you know what I'm saying?
The kids are the ones, because it'd be the kids that'll come back and just be singing a song and you're like, why are you singing that? But it's because it's so catchy. If it's that catchy that a kid can just remember it just because they, you know, the melody or whatever it might be, man. But I use girls and kids as my A&R.
Yeah, the girls, and then of course, you know, I played a couple hoes I know too, but they're strippers. They love that shit anyway. You know what I'm saying?
But that's what Chris was doing. Chris would call me and he'll be like, "Yo, girl, these girls just came. They just played, man. They said this is the craziest record they done heard. Yeah. All right, I hit you back."
That's most of the people that especially in New York. I told you you're infiltrating New York, but it's girls that request your record,
man,
because I guess it turns it out, you know.
And I feel like, you know, I'm gonna be 100%. You know what I'm saying? I feel like my shows in the beginning used to be, you know what I'm saying, 20%, you know what I'm saying, black, and then the rest was all white kids mixed with a couple Asian kids.
Was it more backpacky?
You know what? I'm not gonna say it was probably like 20% black, and then Asian kids probably like 5%, and the rest was Mexican and white kids, and then now it's really like, but males though. I'm saying
because you came from the XXL, like people heard like, the lyrical, like you spaz out on tracks and stuff like that. So those fans are there.
Those were the fans that were really respecting me as a hip hop artist. But now I feel like with this Show Me record, it's been so many just different like females.
But I'd rather be there with the bitches. You know?
I get it, but I can notice the difference. You know, shout out Chris Brown, appreciate that. But I can notice the difference in how this record, you know what I'm saying, filled a void that I was missing, and now, you know, it's not any basis that's not covered.
Shout out to all the chicks calling up, and they want, a lot of the bitches want to know, well, the women out there, I apologize for the ebonics, but a lot of the women out there want to know, no disrespect, bitches, but your relationship with Chris Brown, like, is it in depth, or how did that actually?
I mean, it's one of the things, you know, I hit him up. Well, he, you know what I'm saying, already collabed with me when I was independent, but you know, some independent things get, you know, under the rug. So I felt like, you know, we built a relationship just seeing each other at videos and just different stuff like that. And in the city, because
they have no tattoo battles or nothing like that. Like
funny thing is,
you know what I'm saying?
Funny thing is, first time I met Chris, he told me he was gonna steal my tattoo, and the first thing that came in my head was like, "Bro, everybody already say we look alike. If you take my tattoo, then
it's even worse.
I can't even be kidding. Like they gonna, that's him. Nah, but." You know what I'm saying? We built a cool relationship, and when I hit him up through DM, you know, I didn't have his number at the time. He was like, "Yo, come through this, you know, I'll book a session," because I was like, "You want me to send you records through email, or we could book a session?" He was like,
crazy.
"Yo, book a session. Like, why would I do the email thing? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna come through." He only lived 15 minutes from me, studio 15 minutes from me.
That's crazy.
Just rock out. So we, you know what I'm saying, went to the studio, he came through the studio around 8. We left around like 9 a.m. So, you know, that was definitely a good session. Obviously, if we was up all night really having fun, and I went home, you know, just confident with the records we had. And cool dude. I went by his crib. Like I said, we was when I went by his crib, it was crazy though, because it was like you walk in and it's, you know, the music loud. He got his crib crazy. I ain't gonna
get out of it loud.
You go to the crib
like
and
blasting.
It's like 6 Lambos in front of the crib. And then you walk in and there's music crazy on this floor, and then there's 3 tattoo artists on the wall tattooing. Chris was spray painting on the wall.
Wow.
It was just, you know, it was crazy. Looked like
he really takes that serious.
Yeah, it's dope how, you know, you go through his whole crib and he's spray painting anywhere, like the stairs, the wall, ceiling. It don't matter where it is, he's getting it. You know, they made him take the one outside, but that's what I'm saying. He was spray painting everywhere in the crib.
Well, let's continue to get these bitches pussy wet. I was at the be on Conan. I was at the be on Conan, man.
Conan?
Was that your first, like, you know, big TV?
That was my first TV spot ever. Like, real, like, performing on TV, like, and caring about what the TV, you know what I'm saying, and the people watching and feeling like more than the audience, you know?
Wow. I
feel like the TV thing is different. They tell you in the front, like, don't worry about all the 60, you know what I'm saying, middle-aged white women in the crowd. That's really what they said. They're like, yo, it's cool, don't worry about it. Just perform for the cameras and the 8 to 10 million viewers, and you know what I'm saying? That's when you really think about it, like, all right. And I just act like it was a music video, man, and I had some fun. And Conan afterwards was like, this really your first show? Like, this is crazy. And then the next thing he said after that was like, yo, your sneakers are so white. And then it was just a weird conversation.
He's tall as fuck, right? He's like 8 feet or something.
He's like 6'9". Nah, they say it was like 6'6", but he makes me feel like he's 6'9" because I'm short. So
Did he give you like a Illuminati touch? Did he touch
your
your shoulder?
The shoulder tap, and it felt like what I'm saying. My stock went up. You know what I'm saying? Like in the
gave
streets.
You that squeeze. I mean, no hobo, but he gave you.
He lost a little hair color when he touched me because it was like he gave me the orange. Nah.
Holy shit, man! Yo, speaking of something on the low, I was talking to Ill Will, and he stated that you're not grasping the fame thing too crazy. Like in your head, you don't think that you're super famous yet. But Ill Will's like, this motherfucker's crazy. Like, what the fuck is wrong with this nigga? He's on Conan. Like,
right. I just leave. Like, I'll just disappear and go to like McDonald's. And everybody will call me like, what are you doing? You by yourself going to McDonald's? And I'm like, man, what do you mean? I don't care. So it's like, it's just, I'm regular. I'm going to do whatever for the fans when they see me. They like take a picture, sign this. All right, blah, blah, blah. We get that done. But I feel like I don't want to feel trapped in the box like I can't go nowhere. And then like my girl don't ever want me to go to Disneyland again because we went to Disneyland.
It was a nightmare?
And it was a nightmare. It was high school grad night. And it was like every 5 seconds.
Are you serious?
I got hassled. Only place I go, honestly, is Universal Studios. I don't know what it is, but they respect me in Universal Studios.
Oh, for real? It's cool over there?
They let me cut the lines, but they don't, you know what I'm saying, do too much.
Well, you're in LA, though. It's kind of unfair.
I try to be regular, man.
Yeah. Shout out to my second favorite joint, which is, I'll tell you right now, I Don't Care.
I don't care, man. I've been hearing, it's crazy. I've been hearing a lot of people.
But that's because I'm a Kid Ink lyrical fan, and I like it when you kill hard tracks. So that's where I come in, like the DJ that likes hard beats, and then I'm
Shout out
part of that crew. You know what I'm saying?
1500 nothing Cardiac on the beat. Yeah, I think that was a record. I see some reviews that think of it as more of a melodic record, but I feel like I was really going in on that one and really, you know what I'm saying, having a moment in a personal moment for Kid Ink. It was a record I did near the end of the album where, I knew I had the singles right and, other stuff right. And I was just, just going in on my own kind of vibe,
Speaking of good pussy, did El Varner come in the studio or did you send the record there?
I sent the record out to El Varner. Shout out El Varner. She's from
she's hot.
Same city.
I want to hit that.
Label mate, you know what I'm saying? But we did the video. She came through for the video. We did like a documentary video type situation, where we kind of promoted the album and the song, figuring it out. It was dope because after we did the record, the last thing she said was like, man, now I got to get back to recording. I need to get back on my album. Like, you just inspired me to work right now. So it was just, a dope feeling.
She got that booty. All the niggas is giving her that money. You know what I'm saying? Well, let's get you toured with so you had a sold out tour with Kendrick Lamar. How was that to deal with that crazy guy, man? The alien.
Dope, man. I feel like, Kendrick is mad cool and chill. Schoolboy Q is funny, man. He's a hilarious dude, man.
Who smokes the most?
Schoolboy. Me. But then Schoolboy.
Do you smoke more? Do you smoke more weed than Wiz, or you guys ever figured that out? Did you measure the content?
I don't know what he smokes personally. I know that a minimum I smoke an ounce a day, but that's on a bad day. So if that's on a day where I'm busy. So it depends. If I'm not busy, we might get through 2 ounces in a day. So it just depends. So I feel like. Also, what I'm smoking because of where I'm from. I'm from LA. It's not even like I'm going to a grower. I'm going to like a scientist in a lab who's making something with extra, crystals on it and then throwing hash on it and then doing. So I feel like, I'm definitely on another level.
Shout out to Kendrick on another note. And then I interviewed Kendrick during, I guess, Christmas. And he stated the only one that got close to him on his whatever that diss track where he brought New York back or whatever.
Right.
Los was the only one that got near him.
I agree.
Yeah, so
I agree.
You have Los on the album.
Yeah.
Is that an LA connection or?
Man, me and Los been rocking for years. I feel like me and Los, the first record we did was a cypher record with me, him, Meek Mill, and Tory Lanez a couple years ago.
That's so weird how the world was so small back then, and then now Meek is popping. Everybody's doing their own lane.
If we would have did that record today, it would have been crazy. But you know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff gets overlooked, and I feel like me and Los been rocking for so long. He was somebody who would always tell me in the studio like, "Yo, Ink, keep doing what you're doing." The people just don't understand. Like, you got bars, but some people just overlooking you because of the situation and the kind of music you do. But I felt like, at the same time, he's somebody who's crazy, lyrical, crazy, you know what I'm saying, one of the dopest spitters who I feel like could go against somebody, you know what I'm saying, like Kendrick and, you know, all those top dogs like that. And he don't get that same look, and he's a little underrated. And I felt like even if people could say, you know what I'm saying, Los was killing you on that record, it feels good because I feel like Los needs that kind of, you know what I'm saying, support and that kind of look. So at the end of the day, it's just dope for me for hip-hop, man.
Speaking of your look, are you going to accept, you haven't found your conclusion yet on who you are. You're still growing. But it seems like, you know, you're growing, like, you know, because Tyga accepts the fact that he's a strip nigga, got all the bitches and everything. When you got to figure out your final acceptance, like, you know, because obviously the women records are there, and that's a good space to be. In my, I mean, you know me, I fuck bitches.
I feel like, you know that's what happened. What it is those are the records that are easy. So I feel like those are the records I'm always gonna do and have, and the other records, you know what I'm saying, that are different from that are the ones that keep me content with just wanting to be hungry. Yeah, but does Kid Ink?
Is Kid Ink happy for being that person for now, or who do you really want to be? You don't mind being like the person that's killing all the chicks, right? Going, oh, you want to be the lyrical 1 + 1 = 2, right? Ooh ooh ooh, like you want to be that guy, or you want to be you walk in, chick. So you said chick was crying like crazy, right?
It's like performed. For me, man, it depends, because I'm the type of dude that you can't tell me I can't do something. So it's like if I do these kind of records and then I read a comment that says, "Yo, Kid Ink can't do this," I'm going in the studio that night and doing that, just because it's like I feel like an overall musician. Like no one ever goes to, you know, Kanye, I feel like at this point, and goes, that record is just too not you. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to have no limits. I feel like I just want to do everything. Pharrell, no one goes like, yo, Pharrell, you did Drop It Like It's Hot, but then you did this happy record and it's completely different. Like I just want to do any type of record, and people know, you know what I'm saying, that I could grind it out and it's no limits, you know what I'm saying, to that.
Well, what are you going to do if a dude is crying like crazy? Like, well, let's get out of that, man.
Pause that.
Let's get into I Don't Care, because we don't care about backpacking niggas right now. Fuck you. All we care about is hot shit right now. Right? Maybachs, whatever cars you drive, whatever. Whoever has a hot car, this is for you right here. I Don't Care. And then, what's your favorite joint on there? What's your favorite song?
My joint, man, my favorite joint might have to be, it always changes, but my favorite joint might have to be The Movement right now. Okay. It was More Than King, but now it's The Movement. I just heard it just recently, and I remember like that was my favorite record. It was a real hip-hop record, but I feel like I still just, the beat is just ready for the club and bouncing. It just hits everybody overall. You can't really hate on that.
You're a super nice guy, man. There's nothing bad about you. I've never dissed you on the radio. There's nothing bad to talk about you, but does the label meet up with you and be like, yo, we need some controversial shit? Do you have like a meeting with like your partners? Yo, we need to diss this guy. You need to run out naked.
Nah, I don't feel like, because, you know, I try to let the music speak first always. I'm trying not to be like a
But do you have
beast.
meetings like that? Yo, like, yo, what up, kid? You gotta be butt ass in Times Square or some shit.
I might have personal meetings with myself more than the label does, where I'd be like, yo, should I just wild out and get caught at the airport with an ounce and then just get arrested and sell 1 million records? Let's get it. But, you know.
Yeah, because you're fucking super nice, man. Like, you know, man, on a cool tip though.
The thing is, I'm a nice guy, and then my close friends could tell me I could be an asshole.
Oh, for real?
Definitely.
Get out of here.
Don't get it twisted. I could roast you for sure.
What's Jay Grant at, man?
You could get roasted for sure. You know, once we get comfortable. Nah.
Is there any like antis from kids? Is there anything crazy about you that you need people to know? So when it happens, oh, you already said that. Oh, it's cool. But
when I don't smoke, I definitely get an attitude.
Do you go on stage? Do you go on stage? Because I remember, you know, I used to work for Young Buck. He never would go on stage unless he smokes.
Yeah, I'll make you wait. Yeah, you gotta wait. Yeah, I'm not gonna front. We gotta wait. I gotta at least get a shot and a blunt before I go on stage. Out of here. Yeah, man. It can't just be sitting. Like we hold up for just the cups. We had the bottles and be like, yo, we go on stage in 10 minutes. We got the cups. The crowd hype. All right, let's get it. But, you know, I feel like, you know, everybody got they pet peeves, you know what I'm saying? I try to be, you know, a humble guy. My thing is, I feel like I just try to be humble because I just believe in karma, man. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I roast you. And if, you know, if we playing like Madden, it definitely turned into another kid ain't when we playing video games and stuff like that. When it's competition,
it's all right.
When it's competition, I definitely might be on another level. So you
play a mean Pac-Man or something. I heard you be on the tour bus like waka 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 waka.
honestly, yeah, I'm the kind of guy. First of all, I'm a champion. That's the thing. I'm a champion at Pac-Man. Waka waka. I'm like the kind of guy you can't tell me that you're gonna beat me in nothing right now. Yeah, you're gonna get roasted, and I'm gonna beat you for sure.
So we got that shit out the way, man. So you never get really angry, but we're waiting, man. We're waiting for the gun charge. We're waiting for you shooting somebody. I don't know, man. I would love to be shocked.
I've had my moments, but it's it's I think it's up to the what it is. I forget what I look like sometimes with the tattoos on my face. And I think when I approach people sometimes, I don't know how I look, and they probably just like I've had my situations, but they'll be like, yeah, this dude might be crazy with these tats on his face and all this other stuff.
Speaking of crazy, that cover, like, what's the idea behind, before you get out of here, what's the idea behind the cover?
The cover, man, I felt like, when we went through just so many different covers and so many different pictures, not only did that one, with that, I felt like, first of all, so many people took my pose when I was, showing my skull pose and putting it over my face with one hand. Yeah. So I came up, with the new thing, and I was using two hands and showing a little bit more tattoos. And I think it just kind of stood out more than a lot of the other pictures and represented Kid Ink. So when people go Kid Ink, all right, I get it. Look at the front of the cover. He's full of tattoos. It makes sense more than, it just being a picture that you can't really see me behind a bunch of words.
Girls are loving the take your pants off joint on the inside. I mean, I ain't looking at that.
I got I got the nice poster in the middle
for the women out there.
Hang on your wall.
Yeah. Any bucket list? Any remixes, surprises coming out before you get out of here?
That's a good question.
Any bucket list you want to do? Because you're in the lane where you got the heavy hitters.
Definitely. I mean, I feel like for me, I do a lot of writing, like melodic hooks and singing hooks. So I'm always looking for singers, and I'm always looking for bigger singers and big singers. And I think I need that like Alicia Keys record. That's one of my bucket list records. And Nicki Minaj record is a bucket list record. Ye is a bucket list studio session. I feel like not even just records. I want to make beats with Kanye, kind of. You know what I'm saying? And
that's hard.
I had the session with Pharrell. That was on my bucket list since I was a kid, man.
How was that?
Since I first got into music, and that was crazy. Just being in the studio and wondering, all my life, like, how does Pharrell make beats? And then I got to see him make 2 of them. And then I got to record to him. You know what I'm saying? That's like, you can't ask for more than that, man. And then,
he's pretty nigga, man. He's prettier than you, man. You ain't jealous, man?
Nah, I mean, we got the pic. You know what I'm saying? He got me all over the blogs. But at the end of the day, the biggest thing, man, from that session, Pharrell was leaving, man. And he was leaving the session. And he said, yo, before I leave, man, I just want to tell you, man, I get it. I understand you as an artist. And I was just like, man, that's ill. That just means continue doing what you're doing. Like, from somebody who's had the top 2 records of last year, period. I feel like that's just a big thing.
And the last question, which record did your girl control you on putting on the album? Because I know your girl has a lot to say. Was she your first critic? Did she say, yo, what the fuck? This is whack. This shit out of here.
Females and children. Let me see the CD. Let me see exactly if it's a record that stands out. The thing is, I could try to. All right. The thing is, I could try to call her out real quick.
Yeah.
And say that Tattoo of My Name is a record that was kind of inspired by her when she, put the tattoo of her initial on my hand.
Oh wow!
But she don't have a tattoo of my name at all.
What is that, God? What's going on here? Where is the love? Where is the love?
So, you know what I'm saying? With that said, Tattoo of My Name will probably have to be inspired by,
So you bitches stay away, you know what I'm saying?